This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Tuesday, March 9. In Squiz Kids today, girls are beating boys at school. Raccoons versus humans in Canada. The greatest dog race on Earth. And holidaying in space. That's what's making news, kids style.
The Lowdown.
It was International Women's Day yesterday, which seemed like a perfect time for a report to be published finding that overall girls are doing much better at school and university than boys. Go girls! The report found that in New South Wales, twice as many girls achieved top marks in the HSC than boys, while in Victoria, girls got higher marks in their Year 12 final exams too. And more girls than boys are going through to complete Year 12 around the country, with 89% of girls achieving the educational milestone compared to 81% of boys. The report also found that in Year 9, girls are almost 10 months ahead of boys when it comes to reading skills. And while traditionally there had been fewer girls than boys studying STEM subjects, more and more girls are throwing themselves into science and maths and not only loving it, but finding they are really, really good at it.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Toronto, Canada's largest city, where the locals are engaged in a daily face-off with raccoons, thanks to the COVID lockdown there. Residents of Toronto have been confined to their homes much more over the last year as the city goes in and out of lockdown due to the coronavirus. And that's meant there have been many more instances of them encountering the raccoons who nest in their ceilings or make a daily raid on their garbage bins searching for food. City authorities have reported a 62% increase in the number of raccoon attacks on humans. And they're saying it's all down to the fact that more people at home and not at work during the day increases the likelihood of people and raccoons, or trash pandas as they are known by locals, crossing paths. And that's a problem, because not only can they hurt a person with the scratching and the biting, but they can also transmit serious diseases like rabies. Seems raccoons are none too pleased to have to share houses and backyards and garbage bins with pesky humans.
Sport time.
You know why we love this time of year at Squiz Kids? Because on the other side of the planet, our favourite event on the sporting calendar kicks off with the start of the Iditarod dog sled race. Held every year in Alaska, the race will see a group of 48 mushers, which is the name given to people who drive dog sleds, drive their team of huskies across the frozen landscape for anywhere up to 15 days in a race to see who can cover the 1,400 kilometres from the Alaskan capital Anchorage to the tiny town of Nome. The race started yesterday, and experts are saying thanks to the massive cold snap that has swept across North America, conditions are the snowiest and fluffiest and freezingest, which may not actually be a word, for a very long time. The record for the fastest time is 8 days, 3 hours and 40 minutes. And because the dogs do so much exercise, it's estimated they eat around 10,000 calories a day. The average adult human eats about 2,000 calories a day, so it's 5 times that. We'll keep you updated on the race as it unfurls, but meanwhile there's a link to a video about the race in today's episode notes. And just for fun, a link as well to a video about a 10,000 calorie hamburger, which has to be seen to be believed.
Spaced out.
Think about your next holiday destination. Maybe a driving holiday with the family, a bit of camping, a trip to the beach perhaps. Or how about a trip to a hotel in space? That could well be a possibility in as little as 6 years' time, after a company in the United States has unveiled plans to build a hotel that hovers in orbit around the Earth. Called the Voyager Station, the space hotel would feature all the same sorts of amenities as a normal hotel, except floating in space. Hotel rooms, restaurants, bars, swimming pools and a gym. The space hotel would bring the hotel accommodation experience to life in a zero-gravity environment, meaning that activities on offer would include a whole range of things you could only do in zero gravity. And the best bit? Well, that would have to be the views. Imagine staring out your hotel window at the Earth spinning by hundreds of kilometres below. All going well, the space hotel will be up and running by 2027.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. Raccoons have been taking on humans in which city in Canada? That's right, it's Toronto. Question number 2. Through which frozen state of the USA does the Iditarod dog sled race pass? You got it, it's Alaska. Question number 3. What's the name of the space hotel being designed and built? Yeah, it's Voyager Station.
Shout-outs.
It's March 9. On this day in 1959, the very first Barbie doll was unveiled at the New York Toy Fair. 2 years later, on this day in 1961, the Russians sent a dog into space. These two events are not in the least bit related. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Dee Dee from Shoal Bay, Amber and Ezra from Melbourne, Grace from Morningside, and Khalija from Glen Innes. And some belated birthday shout-outs to Alex from New South Wales, William from Exeter, Scott and Megan from Sydney, Tom and Harper from Bathurst, and Chris from Ashmont. Happy birthday one and all. And today's classroom shout-outs go to Class 1D with Miss Down from Woodhill State School, Class 4A at Edith Vale Primary School, Mr. Anderson's Foursome Ninjas at Manly State School, Class 3V and Miss Vantarakis at Livingston Primary School, and Class 3OB at Ivanhoe Primary School. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out. Squiz Kids is proudly supported by the Judith Neilson Institute for Journalism and Ideas.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.